So today's workout we're doing AMRAPs. So what that means is as many rounds as possible. It's going to be a 5-minute AMRAP, and we've got 3 lots of them. So the first one is 10 squats, 10 push-ups, 10 crunches. So you're going to get through all 10 of each, and then you're going to start again. Just keep doing it as many times as you can in that 5 minutes. I'll demonstrate all the exercises. They are pretty straightforward. Kept them nice and basic today. We've got squats. So you just want to make sure with your squats that your heels are on the ground, knees are in line with your middle of your foot, so we're not caving in like this, really force them out. If you look at the side on, I'll make sure that torso is upright as possible. So we're not squatting down and just hinging at the hips like this. We're using our knees and our hips. So there's squats. If you want, you can add a weight, just holding it to your chest. Second exercise is our push-ups. We should all know how to do push-ups. I'll go through them again anyway. Hands should be in line with your shoulders, coming down and up. We'll try to have a straight line between your heel and your shoulder. And when we're doing our push-ups, we'll try to switch our lats on. So what I mean by that is you sort of rotate elbows in, and we're doing our push-ups that way. So you're not flaring them out to the side like a lot of people do. Just keeps your shoulder joint nice and stable. And third exercise is crunches. Nice and easy, just laying on your back, crunching up and back down. Up, back down. Right, we want to try and aim to get your knuckles around knee height if you can, and back down. So we've got 10 of each, as many times as we can in 5 minutes. Push-ups, if you need to, you can do them on your knees, or you can use a bench or a couch or something just to elevate yourself to make it a little bit easier. And yeah, the squats, you can add a weight. But other than that, it's pretty straightforward. Just going to set the timer up here. But the idea is to go as many rounds as you can in 5 minutes. And then we'll get a couple minutes rest at the end of that. All right, so we'll start in about 20 seconds. So get yourself set up. Grab your weight if you need a weight. So it's 10, 10, and 10. 5 minutes, as many times as you can. We'll start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go for it. So the idea is to push yourself in this whole 5 minutes. Use the first couple of rounds as a warm-up, and then try to pick up the pace. So as soon as you've done your 10 squats, you go straight into your push-ups. On your knees if you need to. Keep that straight line between your heel and your shoulder. As soon as you've done your 10, roll it over onto your back, straight into your crunches. Try not to have any rest in between each exercise, because we'll get a couple minutes rest at the end of the 5 minutes. So as soon as you've done your crunches, straight back up. So the idea of an AMRAP, it's all about speed, but obviously you want that technique to be 100% as well. So always think about those technique cues that I've been calling out. So like, hands in line with your shoulders, lats switched on, core engaged. We're 1.5 minutes through, so 3.5 minutes to go. Should be nice and warm now. It should be able to pick up the pace a little bit if you can. It's 2 minutes gone, 3 to go. Make sure you keep that core engaged with all movements. We are halfway. Doing well. Just try and keep that tempo. Keep it nice and consistent. Should be nice and warm now. We've got 2 minutes to go. So make sure you keep your breathing under control. Nice deep breaths, not short, shallow ones. Just remember those technique cues. Doing well. We've got just over a minute to go. Just make sure you're keeping your heels on the ground when you're doing your squats. Keep those knees in line with the middle toe. Keep that torso upright and that core activated. Doing well. We're almost there. Got about 45 seconds to go. $35 seconds. $20 seconds. Enough time to get the beast. Another 10 reps out. $10 seconds. Almost there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Grab a drink. We'll rest for 2 minutes. And then we'll do the next lot of exercises. So same structure this time. 5 minutes. Many rounds as possible. 10 reps of each. We've got lunges, inchworms, bridges. So this is a nice, easier one compared to the first one. You don't need to wait unless you want to make the lunges more difficult. But with our lunges, just going to step forward, lunge, step back. All right, so 10 of those in total. I'll show you side on with our lunges. Want to try and make sure it's a straight line, perpendicular to the ground with your shin. And then horizontal, parallel with the ground with your thigh and back up. Alright, so everything should be 90 degrees. You want to try and keep that torso as upright as possible as well, so we're not leaning too far forward on that leading leg. So there are your lunges. We've got inchworms, which we did in our warm-up. It's just walking your hands out into a high plank, walking it back in. Alright. Just make sure when you get to this position that you keep a nice straight line, so you don't stop here. Make sure you engage everything. Switch it on for a split second, and then back up. There are your inchworms, and then third exercise, lying on your back, just bridging up with your hips. All right, squeezing with your glutes, driving down with your heels rather than your toes. All right, just up and down. Make sure they're controlled so we're not just flapping around there. So we want to control at the top and back down. All right, split second control, back down. So there are 3 exercises. We'll just rest for another 30 seconds or so, and then we'll get into it. All right, let's get ready. We'll start in 10 seconds. So lunges, inchworms, bridges, 5 minutes, stay around as possible, 10 of everything. All right, and go for it. So lunges first. Like I said, with an AMRAP, you want to try and go as fast as you can, but obviously keep that technique and form spot on. As soon as you've done your lunges, straight into your inchworms. And walking your hands out. Make sure you have that straight line before you come back in. Out, straight line. Inchworms will obviously be the harder one out of the 3 exercises. This one. You want to try and keep those legs as straight as you can as well. So you're getting a stretch through your hammies at the top of each rep. Doing well. 1 minute's already gone. As soon as you've done your inchworms, straight into your bridges. So lying on your back, bridging up with your hips, driving through with your heels, not your toes. Make sure it's controlled at the top, so we're not just bouncing straight up and down. As soon as you've done your 10, straight back up into your lunges again. Just past the 2 minute mark. Past halfway. Doing well. Just keep it consistent. Try and keep breathing under control. The moment you lose control of your breathing, that's when everything goes downhill. So really focus on nice deep breaths. Less than 2 minutes. Almost there. So you've done your inchworms, straight into your bridges. Remember to have that control at the top of each movement. There we go. About 70 seconds to go. Doing well, guys. Straight into your inchworms once you've done your lunges. We've got 40 seconds to go. "30 seconds to go. Just try and get all the reps out of this exercise before full time. We're almost there. 20 seconds. Ten seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Grab a drink. We'll rest for a couple of minutes again. While I run through the next lot of exercises. If you need to, do some stretches while we're resting. So the next set, same structure, so 5 minutes, 10 minutes of each one again. We've got deadlifts, plank push-up, reverse crunches. So our deadlifts, if you got a weight, we use a weight for this one. Basically, weight starts on the ground, chest up, standing up with it. Alright. Do a couple straight and I'll do some side on as well so you can see. So what we want that weight to be starting in the middle of your foot or slightly further back. We don't want it out here. Puts too much strain on your lower back the further away the weight is. We want to have it as close to your hips as possibly can. And then what we do is we stick our bum back as far as we can, slight bend in your knees until we reach that weight. Alright. So the idea of the deadlift should be feeling it through your hamstrings and your glutes. So we want those hips as high as possible, but with a slight bend in your knees. Alright, chest up so we're not rounding our back. We don't want that sort of position. We want that. So the way I tell people to get into that position, we stick our bum back as far as we can, stick your chest up so it's aiming towards the sky, squeeze your shoulder blades together and down. Alright, it's up to you if you want to look up or look down, as long as that back's nice and straight. So there are your deadlifts. If you don't have a weight, we're just going to do the exact same movement pattern, alright, but with nothing in your hands. If you're going to do it that way, that's fine. Just really focus on squeezing through your glutes at the top of the movement. Alright? Because there's no weight, you have to really focus on engaging those muscles. So, that's the first exercise. Second exercise was plank push-up. So in a high plank position, we drop down, low plank, back up, down, back up, down, back up. Nice and easy. Make sure it's a straight line between your shoulder and your heel as much as possible for the whole movement. Then the last exercise we've got, another core one, reverse crunches. So hands under your butt, legs straight out, coming up. So it's like a leg raise. You get to this position, and then you want a little bit of a pop with your hips. And up. If you want to make it harder, if you anchor your hands above your head, so use your weight, anchor your hands there, and do the exact same movement. It'll feel twice as hard because you're really stretching through your core, and you'll feel that top two to four abs there working as well. So there are 3 exercises, nice and easy. 5 minutes, 10 reps of each, many times we can. We'll rest for another 25 seconds, and then we'll get into it. This is the last AMRAP that we're doing, and then if there's time, we'll do a little bit of core at the end just to finish off, but we'll see how we go. So, get into position. We'll start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go for it. So 10 deadlifts first. Make sure you keep that core switched on. Drive through with your hips. All your weight should be through your heels again. As soon as you've done your 10, straight into your plank push-up. Make sure it's a straight line between your shoulder and your heel. Once you've done those, rolling onto your back, you got your reverse crunches. Try and keep those legs as straight as you can. So that's a leg raise with a bit of a hip hop at the top. Again, focus on your breathing. Keep that under control the entire time. As soon as you've done 10, straight back up into your deadlifts. We're a minute and a half through, so 3.5 to go. Doing well. Arm side on. So make sure you're driving through with your heels and your hips at the top of the movement. Really squeeze through those glutes. As soon as you've done your 10, straight down for your plank push-ups. Keep that straight line between your shoulder and your heel. If you're finding it's way too much for your shoulders, can drop down onto your knees. So make sure if you do it on your knees, it's a straight line from your knee up to your shoulder. So you're not sticking your bum up in the air. It's what a lot of people tend to do when they're in that position. Doing well. Focus on your breathing. We're past halfway. As soon as you've done your reverse crunches, straight back up, back to the start again. About 2 minutes to go. Doing well. Just keep chipping away at it. I've got 90 seconds. Yeah, 90 seconds. Almost there. Less than a minute to go now. Let's try and get through as much as you can. "30 seconds to go." Keep that form and technique looking good. Just make sure that core is engaged. If you're doing your deadlifts, driving through your heels, really locking out with your hips at the top. Keep that chest as upright as you can. We've got 10 seconds left. Almost there. Keep going till I say time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right. Grab a drink. We'll rest for a minute. And then we'll get straight into this little bit of core that I've got for a finisher. It's not too difficult. We've done both exercises before. Just going to do a couple of rounds, 30 seconds on each. Rest for another 20 seconds, and then we'll get into it. So we've got dead bugs, so opposite arm, opposite leg, right, the other two limbs motionless, and then we've got our walkout bridges. So you're bridging up as high as you can, try and maintain that height the entire movement, and just walking your legs out and back in again. All right. We'll start in 10 seconds. So we're doing 30 seconds of each, 2 times through. So get into position. So dead bugs first, 3, 2, 1, and go. So opposite arm, opposite leg. All right, slow and controlled. The slower you go, the harder this one's going to be. All right, it's a really good rehab exercise for lower back injuries and just for learning how to engage your core. Almost there. 3, 2, 1, and change. So straight into your walkout bridges, so bridging up as high as you can, walking those feet out, walking them back in. We've got 30 seconds of these. Really try and squeeze through your glutes as much as you can. I know it's hard once you get your legs out, because your hamstrings seem to do a lot of work, but you really got to try and concentrate. Almost there. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and back down. Round 2, back into your dead bugs. Last time we're doing these, and then we'll finish off with some stretches at the end. We're almost there. Slow and controlled. Let's try and make sure those other 2 limbs don't move. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and change. Last lot of bridges. Keep those hips as high as you can. Smaller the steps are, the harder it will be. Really close and squeezing through those glutes. We've got 10 seconds to go. Almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest.